Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. I am your lovely host Sibulele and welcome to another video. So if you are watching this video, you might have seen my TikTok that had gone semi-viral in my opinion. So I had shared on TikTok in a short form video that I made the advice. I was about to say the tips, but the advice that I have or would like to give as someone who's been in a managerial position for about close to 2 years now. And I was just sharing some of the pro tips that I feel like people need to know in managerial positions, especially as a young manager. So I'm going to go in depth on those tips that I shared. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell their friend. Let's get into it. Okay, so if I look down, I'm looking at my notes, but the first tip that I shared was never compromise your morals or values to accommodate anyone. There is so much compromising that can be tempting within being a young manager. There's so much temptation in terms of compromising your morals, compromising your values because you don't want to step on people's toes. But that was the first tip that I shared, that you should never, under no circumstances. I know that it might be hard. I know that it might be difficult because sometimes, most of the time, a lot of us are people pleasers, and I'm a people pleaser myself. I'm a recovering people pleaser, but that is definitely the number one tip, which can be hard to follow if you are a people pleaser. You don't want to step on people's toes. You don't want to make people uncomfortable. But sometimes people have to be uncomfortable for you to maintain your morals and your values, because you benefit nothing from compromising on the things that you believe in and you value to accommodate people. The second tip, as brutal as it sounds, was you don't have friends. People will at any given point throw you under the bus to save themselves. I think a lot of people might argue with me to say that this perhaps depends on the type of environment that you're in or the type of work environment that you are in. But it is something that I have realized in the work environment that I'm in. And a lot of people actually agreed with a lot of the points that I've written down, or the points that I wrote down, the points that I wrote down, because a lot of the people that were watching this video also are in industries that are a bit toxic, because I'm in hospitality, and everyone who's in hospitality knows exactly how brutal and how toxic hospitality is. People are in retail, people are in your ShopRites, your Pick and Pays, those type of environments as well. So they really did relate to the points that I had. And you really don't have friends. You might have people that you talk to often. You might have people that you trust to confide in. You might have people that you click with. You might have people that you click with, but do not mistake and think that you have friends, because in a toxic environment, anyone will lie on the side where their bread is buttered, which is something I like to say. People will lie on the side that their bread is buttered, and if you are on the side where their bread is not buttered, trust and believe that they will not lie on your side. So that is a critical point to always remember and to always be conscious of. You don't have friends. You don't have friends. So just be incredibly cautious of that. It might be brutal, but it's just my opinion. On a positive note, I wrote down and I said, you are more than competent. Don't let your failures and mistakes make you feel otherwise. They are a part of the journey. Now, a lot of the time as young managers, it can feel very disheartening when we make mistakes, not failures, but when we make mistakes. It's incredibly disheartening. We feel as failures because of those mistakes. But mistakes are a part of the journey. We must always remember that we are young, but we are fortunate enough to be in positions of leadership. So to get to the place where we are fully functional, let me put it like that. To get to a place where we are fully functional, there are tests along the way, and those tests are designed to help build our character, to help to help us to be more wise, right? To help us to be more cautious, to help us to be more objective, empathetic. Those failures along the way are incredibly necessary, and a lot of the times we don't get it as people. In general, we don't like making mistakes. As perfectionists, we don't like making mistakes. As young professionals, we don't like making mistakes. I don't like making mistakes, but mistakes are a part of the journey. And I think if we look at the fact that, or if we look at mistakes from a point of what can we learn from them, there is so much beauty in that, rather than just looking at, man, I made a blunder, right? What can I learn from this blunder, and how can I avoid making a blunder of the sort in the future? So mistakes do not make you incompetent. They just build you up. They make you stronger. They are a part of the journey. They are normal. Do not feel incompetent because you make mistakes. Okay, the next tip says don't allow favors or be lenient. It will come back and bite you afterwards. Listen, I experienced this, and I will never again, ever, I don't say this from a place of being hurt, because yes, of course I was hurt in that moment, but I shouldn't have been lenient, right? So I say this from a place of having learned from that mistake, right? Being lenient is not only unfair, not only does it blur your judgment as a leader, because why are you being lenient? Why are you having favors? But it really will come back and bite you. And it goes back to the point where I said, you don't have friends. You don't have friends. People will at any point in time throw you under the bus to save themselves. All right. So be as objective as you can. Do your job to the best of your ability. If punishment is necessary, then roll out punishment, right? If punishment is necessary, roll out the punishment. If warnings are necessary, roll out the warnings. If what is the word that I'm looking for? If confrontation is necessary, confront the person, confront the problem, so that you don't put yourself in a position where you are compromised. Very, very important, my young managers. Very, very important. So the second last point is set boundaries and communicate when you feel they aren't being respected. As someone who is very shaky when it comes to confrontation, this for me was something that was very hard to learn. I'm still learning it. I'm still learning to set boundaries, both in my professional career and both in my personal life. Boundaries for me are not an easy thing to communicate, but the beauty of boundaries is that it protects you. At the end of the day, you are the most important person to yourself. So boundaries are a form of self-care. Telling people how you would like to be treated, telling people how you feel you need to be treated, telling people how, basically just letting people know how you would feel safe, is a form of self-care, and it is necessary both in the working environment and it is necessary in your personal life, especially in the working environment. If there is something that, or if there's a habit, or if there's a common occurrence that someone is doing that you do not feel comfortable with, you need to communicate that. I know it is difficult. Say, for example, people are not supposed to be on their phones, and there is this one particular person who constantly is on their phone and they don't even hide it from you. You need to make that a conversational point. You need to go to that person and talk to them and say to them, I don't like what you're doing. It makes me feel so and so and so, and I need you to stop doing it. Right now, I've said multiple times that there are different types of managers, and you need to determine what kind of manager you'd like to be. I'm still learning. I'm still navigating. I'm almost 2 years old, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm still navigating. I'm still building up courage. I'm still this and that and that and that. I'm just still becoming. So, you need to communicate your boundaries. You need to communicate things you don't like. You need to communicate things that you find unprofessional. You need to communicate things that are wrong. You need to tell people that this is wrong. This is wrong. I don't like when you do this, and this and this and this and this and this, right? It goes back to the point of not being lenient, not having favors, treating everyone in the same way, which is crucial, because you will have those people sitting in the background observing how you treat people differently, and they will turn on you. They will turn on you, throw you under the bus, choke you with your own, they'll just come at you sideways. You know, the types of environments that we are exposed to now are incredibly toxic, so you have to protect yourself at all times. The last point that I shared, which I actually intended for it to be the last point that I talk about today as well, says, do not allow them to get to you, right? The opportunity wouldn't have been presented to you if you weren't capable. Now, this is a point that I want you to let this point allow you to be softer on yourself. I want you to allow this point to comfort you, because if you were not capable, the position wouldn't have been presented to you. Are you making mistakes? Absolutely. Are there moments where you were lenient? Absolutely. Did people throw you under the bus? Absolutely. Are you still struggling to set boundaries? Absolutely. But it is a part of the learning curve. It is a part of the learning journey. But it's so important to be gentle with yourself and to understand that within learning and within growth, there will be uncomfortable circumstances. There will be seasons when you are unsure, when you are doubtful of yourself, but you need to understand that you are more than capable, and that is why the situation was presented to you. Don't take a step back. Don't fall back, but allow each and every opportunity that is presented to you to help you grow. Allow each and every opportunity that is presented to you to make you more wiser. Take every opportunity as a learning curve. I think that is the one thing that I want you guys to do, to take every opportunity, whether bad, whether good, whether joyful, whether sad, take that as a learning curve. If you have questions, ask them, right? To help you develop, to help you become a better leader. And that's all the tips that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed me diving deeper into these points. Please comment down below any experiences that you guys have had. If you want to share anything regarding the points that I said, I know, even from my TikTok video, there are people who agreed with me and there are people who disagreed with me, and that is absolutely okay. You guys do not have to agree with me. I'm fine with that. If you do agree with me, that's great. But do comment down below any of your thoughts that you guys have. I will definitely do a part 2 if you guys are interested. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you lots. Like Jelly Top.